Hey, you guys, thank you so much for hopping on tonight for our meeting. You guys, I'm excited. We're going to dive into it because Rachel just has a lot of goodness that she gives out, pretty much on every word that she speaks. I just got to learn from her on how she trains her newbies, and it's all so good. I'm going to give you a tidbit about Rachel, and then I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her story. But she's been in the business for 5 years. She went Ambassador Diamond this year. She's one of the hardest workers that I watch. She's one of those people that I watch because I want to watch people that are doing it when I'm not doing it, like, because that's where I want to be, right? So those are the people that we need to be watching. But she's just real and raw, and I got to know her because our husbands were in a Bible study together for a really long time. And what's cool is I've watched them not only grow like as a couple and their marriage become stronger, but also just her faith become stronger, and her become just an incredible leader. Like, that's just who she is. And it's awesome that, you're my friend now because I watched you and I was like fangirling for so long. But she's going to tell you her story because that's what's so important. I was having lunch with my mom today, and we were talking about people's stories and how we need to be just telling them more, because of how inspiring they are. Everyone comes from somewhere and everyone goes through valleys. So knowing your story is important. So Rachel's going to tell hers, but her business, and she's one of those people that I've been talking to the last couple of months because we've all noticed a dip and ebb and flow the last few months, and what she has done to literally turn that around for her team. So she's just going to kind of pour into us tonight. So Rachel, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's see. Let me unmute you. How do I do that? Where are you?
That's good. I think it works.
There you are.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That was a really sweet introduction. Okay, guys. So, hi. Thanks for having me. My story. So, like Amanda said, hang on. I have to make myself be the only person on the screen because I just Zooms freak me out. So I have been in for 5 years, and I mean, life is just completely flipped upside down around and again. It's just, life is so different obviously now than it was 5 years ago. And so when the business found me, my husband and I have been together for 10 years. We did things absolutely out of order, out of control, irresponsible. We were together for 3 years, and then we got pregnant. We were pregnant when we were 20, had our son when we were 21. I went to college, he didn't. I chose to be on government assistance, like just everything you're not supposed to do, living together. And then we got married. Everything was out of order. And so we were the definition of struggling young parents. And so I had tried a company in the past. I sucked at it. I had the mindset that I was probably the problem. Like, I just wasn't a salesperson. So I wasn't looking for this. I just wasn't looking for it. And one person was just posting on social media. Again, like I said, I had my son in college. I was a full-time waitress around my college schedule. And then my husband had also proposed right after we had my son. So we were also wedding planning. So I was super busy. I knew I needed more, but I just didn't really have the opportunity to add anything else to my plate. But I saw someone posting on social media, talked to her. Long story short, she got me in the same day we started talking. Didn't have enough money to become a customer, but I had enough money to join her team. We figured how that works. And so, I just jumped in, scared out of my freaking mind. I called Zach's emergency line. He was a manager at a call center, and I knew we didn't have the money to join, but we had a credit card, and those credit cards. And so we used it. And so I remember him saying, it's hard to say because he wasn't like a butthead, but he definitely did not think I would do well. And so he didn't think I would do well, but he said, as long as you make the $100 back, if you suck, you suck. It doesn't really matter, but we needed that $100 back. So I jumped in, not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom in the beginning, because I feel like our mindsets, when we can't have something, sometimes it's easier to just not want it. And so I just figured, like, if someone's going to be a stay-at-home mom, then their husband must be really rich. There must be some kind of setup to where, how can you do that? It just seemed like a life that was so not for us. So I never wanted that. And so I jumped in wanting a better life for us, but I really wanted to prove my significant other wrong because I was just a server. So sometimes you make good money, but most times you don't. You just never know. And I wanted to contribute more to the bills. And so when I joined, there was a $10,000 bonus on the line, diamond in 3 months. I did it. Killed it. I don't know really how. I do know how. Just made sacrifices. I didn't have a lot of time, but when if you don't when you don't have time, I feel like somehow you make time, and if it's a little time, you sacrifice and you make that very intentional. So during like downtime in lecture hall, downtime during serving, like during my breaks, when my son was napping, just whenever I could, I was so intentional, and I wanted it so freaking bad because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I went diamond in 3 months, and my check had a comma in it. That's when Zach flipped the script and was super pumped about it. I was so motivated because he was finally on board that I kept going. And 5 months in, I went double, he went diamond, and we were just making really good money, just below 5 figures. And we're like freshly 22 years old at this point. So we're like babies, feeling like we're making like millions of dollars. It's 5 months in when we made those promotions, and we quit our jobs the next day. And this was super psycho and absurd, and I don't recommend it. But we weren't necessarily confident with the decision, but we were confident with what we had our hands on, and so we ran with it. And then that next month, I was set up for triple because we were on a high. And then that was the first time. So that was 6 months in that I was set up for triple. But that was the first time that I can remember where it's like one person quit and it felt like it was a domino effect. And this wrecked me, and this like messed with me because I took off so fast and I didn't slow down for a minute. And so because of that, no one prepared me for that, which why would they? Like if you're killing it and like you're like signing all these people and you're promoting, no one's going to slow you down to say, just so you know, things are going to be hard eventually. So it's not like I was mad at anyone, but like I had this significant amount of people quit from what I remember. I was also probably very dramatic about it. And I just felt like it was me. And I was like, it hurt really, really bad. I'm a yellow. I have a big heart. I'm sensitive. Sorry, my window's open right behind me, so it gets a little loud because there's a highway. But it hurt. And so it really messed with me, and I kind of had to turn things around. It took me a year from that point to restructure my triple diamond chart, and then I promoted. And so bonuses were doubled. We were making really good money. Right after we saw our first triple check is when I found out we were pregnant with our second boy, Elijah. And so that pregnancy was very horrible, very horrible. I got sick like more than the first half of it. Like when I say I got sick, like every single flipping day. And so that point, that was about a year and a half into the business. At that point, I was so sick and caught up in my pregnancy that work just wasn't a priority. For the first time in my business, I really like slowed down on my business. And so I remember when the second check came and the prelims came and we were at the zoo, and I knew, because this was the first time in my business that I had stopped working for like a significant amount of time, I knew my check was going to be low. I was like, it's going to fall below 5 figures. I didn't want to see it. And so we finished out our day, got in the car, checked prelims, and our check went up $3,000. And we were making presidential pay as a triple, our second paycheck, when I had taken like a month of like lazy work. And so this, instead of this like turning it around for us and being like warning and like really like, okay, we can do this now, I had the mindset of like, this is what residual income is. Like, finally, I don't have to work. Like, this is because I didn't really work my business, and for some reason my check went up. And so I had just such a crappy mindset, and I just was still feeling like crap that I just didn't care. And then from that point on, it went downhill to where I lost my triple diamond promotion, and I couldn't maintain it because I lost too many people, and I just it was too far gone. And this messed with me so much more than when I like lost my people on my team. But I just kind of gave it up. I didn't quit, but I didn't really do much. And around that time when I was miserable with my pregnancy, our marriage was at our worst. It felt like everything was going downhill. What it felt like at the time. It felt like everything was crumbling. And the one thing that I had, which was it works, was sucking too. It's like, there's nothing, right? And so I just had such a crappy mindset. I wasn't feeling my best. And then 2 months later, I gave birth. That month, I was so caught up in like getting this child out of my body that I didn't even realize that I was going to lose double. So I lost another promotion, which our check significantly lowered. And at that point, I'm just like mad at the freaking world. Like, can't I just enjoy my freaking baby? Like, why do I have to be super on it to just like freaking make a lot of money? Like, it just felt so crappy. And on top of that, Zach had gotten hired onto, he started job searching, which is something I fought him for months. And then he knew that at the start of the year, we had Eli close to the end of November. He said at the start of the year, he was going to be accepted at this position. He was going to go back to work after being home for so long. And so I just was so done with everything. Life just honestly felt like it sucked. And it's supposed to be the happiest time ever as we have this newborn. And on top of it, he has freaking issues. So anyways, all in all, it was super hard. That was at the end of 2016. And at all of December, I just had a lot of soul searching. Just like, there's nothing worse when you love something with all of you. Like everything was in It Works. I loved it, but I loved it so much more. Like it was everything, like to an unhealthy extent. Like It Works above everything else important to me. And so when something is that important to you and you're that like amazing at it, and then you just out of nowhere, it's like you suck. It almost feels like you don't have an identity. And so I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. I don't know. And then there's nothing worse than not knowing if you're supposed to stay or go. So I prayed and nothing was like super crazy. There was no aha moment. I just figured that was a sign. If he's not going to slam the door in my face, then maybe I'm the issue. I just need to get up and I can do it again. And so at the end of 2016, I took out my chart. I messaged everybody on my team. I sent this video. I just got vulnerable about how hard life was. I'm so sorry I failed you. I'm struggling. You're struggling. Like, I don't have money. Like, I need this. Who's ready to go? We're going to go into 2017 with this. And I had like 10 people outside of my strong lead. I've always had a strong, significant part of my chart, but that doesn't matter if you don't have anybody else outside of that. And so I had 10 people tell me they would do it, and they were all paid as distributors. So it didn't feel like I had much to work with. And we just started over doing all the things that we were supposed to do, yada, yada, yada. That's not really the important part. But we started over in January of 2017. And then we regained double the next month in February, and then triple the next month. And then in April, which is 3 months after, I went presidential. And so we gave ourselves a $17,000 raise from January 1st to the end of April. And that obviously changed our life all over again. And just kind of, it's like, I got it all back. And then I was like, I'm never going to lose it again. I am never going to lose it again, because I truly know how this business comes in seasons and all of the stuff, the goods and the bads. And I know that I have to continuously work. And so life has been great. Everything's been great since presidential. I went pres in 2017. I didn't lose it for like a year. And then when I lost it, we were still making really good money. It was just like a Christmas kind of lose, like towards the end of the year. And then, and that was awesome. And Zach came home also the month I went pres. So he went back to work for like 2 months, came back. He's been home ever since, all that stuff. And then we went ambassador at the beginning of this year, which was super awesome, because prior to conference this year, we weren't even close. It wasn't even something I could wrap my head around. And then Mark flipped the script and we did it. And we made a lot of money, really good money. It was super awesome. But it's like, the thing with this business, and it still blows my mind, because it's been 5 years, and I'm never gonna act like a professional, because I feel like you just never know when things are gonna happen. Like this year kind of threw me off. It kind of threw me off because it's been 5 years. So I've been in the swing of things of like, I usually know like around October it slows down, and then there's November and it's okay. It doesn't always have to be dead, but it slows down. It's just inevitable. But this year, for us and for a lot of people, I think it slowed down a lot sooner. And I wasn't really prepared mentally for it. And it didn't knock me off like it did those other valleys I had throughout the business, but it kind of threw me off because I felt like it happened very fast. Volume dropped very fast. And then before you know it, checks went down. Thankfully, my check was very high in the first place in the beginning of the year from Ambassador. So it's like, it took a long time. But when it really shook me was the prelims this month, because it was from September. And so at the end of September, I knew my check was going to go down, because I'm like, I track my check. I'm pretty good at that stuff. And I knew my check was going to go down. I just didn't know how much it was going to go down. And so at the end of September, me and my leaders and like everybody were like hyped up for October. Like this month, we're pumped up. Like, let's do this. We're ready. Like, let's just go. We knew that the skincare, like we knew that there was something coming out that was going to be awesome. That was skincare, everything great. And so like the first week was going awesome prior to prelims. I was just kind of avoiding it in my head. I wasn't going to check it until it was a positive, because there's just no point, all of these things. And then prelims come. And my mind's right and good and excited, and I'm not even going to check it. And then everyone gets in your head and you check it. And it was like $3,000 lower than what I expected. Really, really, really low for what we've been making consistently for like well over a year. And it wasn't like I panicked in the sense of like, what are we going to do? Like, because we were just so good with our money. Like, we're financially great. But it messes with you when you see check drop, check drop, check drop, check drop. And so I just it's been a long time since I got in the dark stage like I did the day of prelims this month, because I just felt so defeated. Like I felt not necessarily defeated for my check, but I'm like, this means checks all over my team are down. And this is like not just my main income, but it's like my team's. And it's like, I'm just like, am I not enough? Like if I can't keep my head above water, like how am I going to flip it around for them? Because I know it starts with me. And I took a day and I was just freaking depressed, pity party, crying, hitting the world, screaming, just over everything because I just felt exhausted. And I had a talk with a couple people that mean a lot to me in this business, and they were just reminding me, you know, like the prelims were from last month. And we have to remember that when you have bad months, sometimes you have to double and you have to triple, being like 150% on it until you see that pay off. And so here I am feeling so defeated because we had the 7 days in October where we've been killing it and volumes up. And then I see a check that's for September. And I feel like all of my work in October has just been for nothing. And it just messes with you. And so what I did, I didn't really know what to do, but I was just like, after I took that day, I was just like, I've had enough. I've had enough. Like, I'm not going to let my check go down anymore. It's just not going to happen. And so I chose to get, and this is stuff that some people disagree on. Everyone's different personality. Some people like to keep stuff secret. I don't, because when I keep this hard stuff secretive, it really messes with me. I feel like it makes me depressed, and I feel like it doesn't help me be the leader I need to my team, because I feel like I'm almost living a lie. I've just always been a very open person. And so I got some of my closest leaders, 10 of them, on a Zoom. And I just was like, I read in a book like last month, it was saying how like you're just never, if you're in a leadership position, you're never supposed to rip your team a new one. And this is a mistake I've made in the past, but reading those words, I was like, okay, I kind of thought you got to a position where you could do whatever you wanted. But anyway, so I get them on a Zoom and I want to rip them a new one, because I know it's so much me, but it's also so much them, and I needed more from them, but I knew I couldn't. And so I just got them on Zoom and I just started crying and low-key yelling. It just how like enough is enough. Like, I've had it. I'm not mad at you guys, but like, aren't you freaking sick of our checks? Like, why are we not turning it around? Like, all this stuff. And we all just spent an hour crying, being over it, and then finding a solution. And so I am someone that like, I'm very good at having a pity party for myself, but I always find a solution when I'm done. And I think that's the reason I'm so open with my team, is because when stuff's hard, I want them to know, but I think I'm comfortable letting them know, because I'm like, okay, now how are we going to get out of this? And it doesn't mean I always have the magical answers, but there's just no point in just staying down. I'm good at falling down, but I just don't like to stay down. And so we didn't have anything crazy, but we just really talked about what do we need to change. And so when Zach and I went out to dinner that night, the depressed night where I was just depressed all day, the 8th or the 9th or whenever prelims posted, we were talking back and forth. And he's someone that like, I feel like you guys have the same setup, Amanda. Like, he's just like the calm to my storm, and he checks me in a nice way when I don't want to be checked. And he's always like finding the positive, and always helping, like getting me uncomfortable with what maybe I'm the issue kind of thing. And so we're sitting there talking, and he's like, what are some of the things that you're not doing that you did in the beginning of the year when things were really popping? And I'm like, I just feel like I'm kind of doing like, I mean, yeah, I could work a little bit harder, but I don't really feel like I'm the issue. Like, I really feel like I'm doing a pretty good job, which is why I'm so depressed, because if that's not enough, what's enough? And so we just start talking and picking it apart, and we came up with a list of like, I was getting up at 5:30 a.m. Now I get up at 7:30. I'm different now within the past week, but I was getting up at 7:30. I wake up the boys at 7:35. Like, I wake up, roll out of bed, get the boys up, we leave. And then one boy goes to school 30 minutes across town. One goes 5 minutes. Like, it's a lot of travel time. I wasn't getting stuff done for my business until like 9:30 in the morning. Whereas I was starting off at 5:30 with like a great mindset, and I was ready to go. So that was one thing, is like sleeping in. Another thing was, I love reading, you guys. I have a bookshelf full of books, and I'm always preaching it. You'll see me preaching it all the time when I'm reading, and then I just get completely quiet. I don't even fake it that I'm reading when I'm not reading. And I hadn't even opened up a book in like 2 weeks. So my mind's not necessarily right, because I'm not reading every day. And for me, reading is like one of my favorite hobbies. Like, I love to read. So if I'm not doing that for myself, then I'm not doing enough, right? We all have like that one thing. And then there was another thing too. Oh, stuff with the team page. Just like my husband, I stopped welcoming, like I told everybody to stop welcoming people to the team page, because I didn't want the important stuff flooded. So like, he was like, you guys aren't really encouraging. Like, you're not really encouraging people to sign customers. And I was like, yes, we are. Like, I have this diamond chat where every time we enroll someone, we're hyping it up and we talk in it all day long. And so I got defensive, because he's like, there's just no encouragement of new distributors coming in or new loyals. And I'm like, we talk all the damn time. And he's like, yeah, maybe in that chat, but like, you don't see it anywhere else. You guys don't welcome people to the page. You guys don't post when you sign loyalty.
Jeff and Adam are the same person. He's
They're
over
the same person.
Yeah, he said the same thing to me. Like,
we haven't texted each other, but exactly the same stuff.
Yeah. I was just like, ew, like, who are you? Why are you calling me out? But it was like clicking though. And I was just so frustrated because I knew I wasn't perfect, but I was like, I don't think I'm the biggest issue in my check dropping this time. And it wasn't even like a cockiness of thing. So frustrating. So we come up with this major list of all this stuff, and then I just opened up about it to them, and we've just flipped it around. And then ever since that moment, it's like we all saw the checks, and we're like, never again. And so we started welcoming people to the page. They're all like, the welcome posts are all getting like 30+ likes. It's like something is changing because it's like we drew attention to the lack of what we were doing. And it's the proof is in the pudding. The numbers are doubled from last month. Volume's up 10,000. Like it does switch, but you can't do it alone. So I just dropped my guard and I was like, listen here, I'm not happy. And I know you guys aren't. So what do we do about it? And then we honestly just turned it around with unity and coming together.
Well, I think it shows a lot that you spent that amount of time. They were willing to spend that amount of time with you on a Zoom, and they were just as sick and tired of as you. And they made the effort because it is, I mean, Rachel, you're an incredible enroller, but you can't bring in 10,000 volume in 1 month, you know? And that's awesome that your team came together to do that. So what I want you guys to do is put a 1 in the comments if you can relate to exactly what Rachel is saying right now. You're sick of your checks. You are over it. Because I know for a fact that I'm there. And I've talked to my leaders and it still hasn't changed. So we have to change it or it's just going to continue. Autumn, all the ones. Thank you so much for your honesty. Ones. Okay, here they come. Here they come.
There they go.
So I love the fact that you said you found a solution because I'm the exact same way. A couple of days ago, I just had done, one of those moments. And crying, yelling, pity party, just like you. I'm great at throwing myself, in the floor, but I got to pick myself up kind of thing. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm just making sure everyone's muted. Okay, but you found a solution. Now, did you and your team come together and find solutions together? And you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And did you lead that from the front through your team page, through chats, phone calls? How did you do that?
Yeah, so I'm someone that I'm pretty lazy. Like, it's funny because I'm a very hard worker, but I'm freaking lazy. Whenever I can be lazy, I love to be lazy. So I love talking to my diamonds because they're easy for me. And it's like, they need me to love them, and I can love so easy, but like, they don't need me to train them necessarily because they got it. And so I realized that I put my all in them. And then I'm like, wait, what about the other people that aren't diamonds? So we did initially come together. And so like, first I had pre-game planned with Zach. He pulled apart all the stuff that I was doing wrong. Love him, but it's okay. And then I did it with the team, and I'm like, well, here's what Zach, or with my diamonds, I'm like, here's what Zach says. I agree with them. What do you think? And then we started game planning on things for our page as a whole. And it's like, I had put myself out there, like, I will step up. I know I need, like, at the head of the totem pole, like, you need to do more than everyone else. So I knew that. And I recognized everything that I could do. But as a whole, I didn't really plan for them to give all these ideas, but then it's like it all started flooding out. So like little things like for our team page, going back to like tasks, every morning now we've been making like a daily check-in. And so like all the leaders take turns. So like yesterday was my morning, and then I would say like 10-21 checklist. And then for my day, I figured out what do I feel like is most important today. It would be like 30 minutes of self-development, watch the video in the comments. So it's like we took it up a level of like, and it took me like 30 minutes to prepare this checklist because it wasn't like just do this. It was like the proof is in the comments. So it was like watch the video in the comments, and then like send this follow-up, that's in the comments, send this message for host post, that's in the comments, make sure. And then it was like, send this message for host post, get 6 up. Like little things like that. We took the time to start doing that, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like you guys haven't told us what to do in forever. Like we're loving it. Like you just don't realize what you step away from. So little things like that we changed. I've been trying to go live more in the page and just talking, not necessarily going in with a plan, but just showing my face. And little things like that, I think, is keeping the hype all over again. And it's like this was the worst check for so many of us in the whole year. And you wouldn't even know that now. And we just got paid it like 5 freaking days ago. And it's like, everyone's just so determined not to be there because we haven't necessarily drawn attention to it anymore. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. So we definitely game planned with our leadership. And then we just took the roles and we've just been going hard. And then because I have I wasn't not being active, but I definitely was taking the lazy route. Since being very proactive on our page for the past week, it's like all of my leaders are just wanting to do their own thing. Like in a good way, like, hey, Rach, I have a Zoom with the top leader on Wednesday. Like, I'm going to post it to the page, like things that I don't have to ask for, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's really crazy how much you set the pace for your team when you put it all out there.
No, I love that because I've been encouraging, and I know Alexandra, I think she's on here. She does this. She's a double diamond. She went double very quickly within less than a year and has just become this incredible leader. She's created a team page just so she can have Zooms or trainings for her own so that she can really become that leader. So I'm encouraging, you know, some of my doubles and above to do those things, just to become a leader, because sometimes we can become a crutch for people. Yeah. And we need you to become your own kind of leader because they may follow you and take advice better from you. So I think that's great that you encourage that as well. What advice do you have? Because right now we're enrolling new people. What advice do you give to people who want to quit after 30 days or less?
So frustrating. I feel like I'm in, I don't know, last month, and I think that's why I was so depressed when I saw my check, because I knew it was going to go down. But last month I felt newbie wise with the people I signed, I felt like we were like a force to be like reckoned with. I felt like with my specific newbies, we were like ready to go. My 2.0 maintained Emerald again, and it had him in 2 months. Everything was great that way. But then this month I'm like, where is everyone going? Like, not everyone, but like my newbies I signed, it's like, it's not the same. And it just reminds me how like, you just never know who you're going to come in contact with. And so I was actually having this conversation with one of my leaders who reached out to me this morning about basically the same thing, in the sense of like, I'm just pulling and pulling and pulling, and I just don't know if I'm maybe not leading them the right way. And I feel like at the end of the day, with the season we're in, like how we flipped it around and like we are like on a fast track, like in our heads, it might not be like physically there, it's coming, we're starting the momentum all over again. I personally, maybe it's wrong, but I just don't have time for it. And so what I've been just recommending to my team is like, if you've fully given them the steps, and we keep it really simple because maybe we've just never found like the perfect way to train, but like we add them to the team page. I have a live video that I did in June that was just super awesome, like welcoming, and we just keep on tagging them in the June one. And then we teach them post right away. That's like freaking simple. So if you can't latch onto that, then something's like not right, you know? So I've just been, when it's me and it's my leadership and they're asking, I'm just saying, you know, there comes a point where you give them all the resources and you give them like a farewell message. I just cannot pull people. I'm not mentally like in that capacity. I'm trying to like move forward. So I personally feel like if you've gotten to the point where you've given them the resources, you give everybody else, and other people have latched on, and you know, I'm not the problem, because sometimes we know we're lacking something. I personally just have a conversation in the sense of like, listen, I really want this for you, and you did tell me that you wanted it for XYZ, but I feel like I'm wanting it more than you. I can't get a hold of you. Like, I just state all the reasons, and then I'm like, I have so many people that need me. I can't want it more than you. So I'm not going to take you off the team page. I'm not going to like disown you, but I'm going to put my all in the people that are matching my efforts. Whenever it turns around for you, come to me. I did that with someone. The first person I signed up on my 2.0, I opened up my 2.0 in April, I think. And I signed someone up, and she just was one of those people within 30 days. And I was like, I thought you were going to do so freaking good. And I just never deleted her. I kept her on all my social medias, and she messaged me 3 weeks ago, and she's like, I've had enough. I know I didn't start. I can't do this with my baby anymore. Like, I'm ready to go. And I'm just glad I just didn't pull. There's timing for everything. So that's my advice, is just, you got to do what you can. If they don't follow, I think it's 100% appropriate to be able to say, I want this more than you, and I can't put myself in that position. So I got to focus on the people that are matching my efforts. Come find me when that changes. Yeah. And a lot of times it doesn't change, but at least you know you did it all. It's just unfair to your other newbies that are matching you for you to focus on the people that aren't.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think too, and we've heard that all the time, but too, if you give them a list and teach them, if they have showed up to learn how to do host to post, to learn how to do I mean, adding people on Facebook, adding people on Instagram, and doing it takes time. I didn't make 5 figures in 30 days. That didn't happen. It took me 4 years, 3.5 years to do that. But it was worth it because I would never do that in corporate America. And I will be doing it again because I know that I'm not going to go get a nanny job. That's what I was doing before. That was my option if we needed more money. Like, I'm not going to go do that because I know how much money I can make in this. If it means that I have to send out 20 more host posts than I have ever done before, then I'm going to do it. But here's the thing, you guys, you have to do it.
Yeah.
How many people are on this right now? 28 people. If all 28 people were putting up something to host a post and you had 10 comments in 2 days and one person signed and 28 people brought in 100 in volume, that's 2,800 in volume. So that's how Rachel's team is bringing in 10,000 in volume this month. It's going up instead of going down. So if we're all doing these things because we have to get out of our head, and Rachel has said that, it is I really think so, correct me if I'm wrong, the foundation of this kind of business. It just is. When your mindset, when you're not feeding yourself, and 2, if you're feeding yourself but you're not around your team, you're not showing up, you might as well not do personal development because you're going to be stuck with your thoughts. And just like in photography, you've got to go into a dark room for your negatives to develop. And your negatives are going to develop when you stay in a dark place and when you stay alone.
That's good.
Thanks. I wrote about that like in a blog or something like months ago, and it just came in. I love that you do daily check-ins. So Alexandra in her group chat for her team, she's been doing, what are your daily to-dos today? And there are girls that will say, this is what I'm doing today. I love that they share that. I think our team definitely needs to be more active on our team page. Have you had any like issues with people not seeing your posts on your team page? I'm having that very issue. People are like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't see this, and it's been 2 days.
Yeah, some people do say that, and I don't know what it is. And I mean, that's the same thing actually with Tiffany. I'm on her team page, and I don't have it unfollowed, and I don't see her stuff ever. I miss stuff all the time. But what I found is that like now, I mean, because we kind of let it ride out. Like, I just hate freaking team pages. I just know we need them. I just hate them. I just feel like people don't see stuff and stuff gets buried and all these things. But when we started getting really active on it this month, I feel like it's a lot more interactive and people are coming back around. But I feel like maybe part of the reason why they weren't seeing my stuff is because I wasn't making myself seen. Literally, I wasn't on it continuously, you know, and I feel like that probably messes with the algorithm too. So I've just been trying to show my face a lot on it, and I feel like the team page, because we know like they're just, sometimes chats don't work and you just don't know the best way to communicate with your team, because I feel like things are always evolving. And so as a whole part of that, on that Zoom where I was just trying to like, and we were like, what are we going to do? We all came to a conclusion. I was just like, it's just draining to be the only one on the team page. So if I'm going to step up, I need other people too. And so what I also encourage with like my, not just my leadership, but my emerging leaders is like, there's nothing worse than having, whether you have 2 distributors or 15, then your distributors not looking up to you as a leader. And so many people ask like how I've been able to do, like my girls will ask, like the ones that are hungry to be seen. And I say that like in a good way, not like seen for like popularity. They ask how, and I'm like, honestly, I wanted to be seen by my team, and so I made myself seen. And so when I didn't have my team page in the beginning, obviously I was on Tiffany's, I would share videos of any type of tips I had, and I didn't give a crap what I looked like because it was significant enough to help me. So I would make myself seen to where one person would look at me and say that was an amazing tip, another person. And when people start to look up to you, you have like no choice but to like blossom into a leader. It gives you like motivation. And so I was telling my girls, like, whether you're a Ruby or an Emerald, like when you have something good, I can't encourage you enough to share it, because that's how your team's going to look at you, is when you're louder in the bigger light. And so many people are hurting themselves by being quiet, and then they're wondering why their team doesn't respect them or why their team's not coming to them. And it's like, you just have to be louder. So that's what we came together to do, is I was like, I'm not going to do this team page by myself, even though it's literally my team page. I'm not going to do it by myself because it's freaking draining.
Yeah, I love that. Did everybody hear that? Put a 2 in the comments. Because
everyone's going to go live on your team page now.
And I want them to. That's the thing, is I want them to. And I know that life happens, but we've got to evolve with it, just like we have to evolve with this business. I want you guys a part of this page. I want people going live, sharing tips, because what is working for you might start working for me. We've got to share these tips. And I love that, like Rachel's so one team, one mission. She just opened her newbie Zoom up to everyone. And I took notes because I need to be doing these more. Alexander and I had a talk last night. What did we do last year when it was so booming? What were we doing that we're not doing? And I love the fact that she is that hungry now, even though, and Alexandra, I'm going to shout you out again, even though her check's the lowest it's ever been, she's hungry. She's ready to start over. She's ready to start fresh. She's not ready to give up. She's just ready to go into that. And I love having somebody that is creating a fire within me, because I feel like mine was dying out. We need each other. We've got to have each other. So you've been talking about host to post. So this is the last thing that we'll talk about. I know Vonda said, so do we need to swap up our daily host to post, and how often? So I'm going to put some things in the comments that you've shared with me while you start talking about host to post.
Yeah, host to post. Okay, so it's been like 2.5 going on 3 years that host to post has been a thing. So obviously it's evolved. And so here's the thing is like, this year is when it nearly stopped and everyone was like freaking out. And so the thing with host to post is, yes, it's changed. I mean, we're all doing like close to the same thing essentially. So you have to understand that's just how it works. So the thing is it's not that host to post is dead. It's your network and your lack of messaging. And so things have changed now to where it's like, I have to message so many more people. Like host to post still works, but I have to message a lot more people. And so you have to remember it's a numbers game. And unfortunately, we were so blessed with host post being easy back in the day, and it's not anymore, but it does still work. And so I gave her 3 host to post that I use. That question that she asked is hard, because it's like, this is the battle I always face, is like, someone will say yes to post and post, and I'm like, which one will do the best? I don't freaking know. It's a guessing game. It's a complete guessing game. X is working really well. Number 3 is working really, really well for us right now. But all last month, number 2 was. And Hair, Skin, and Nail. And I was selling them. And so right now, yes, that is. Right now, the number 3, it's like, it's working really well, and it worked really well in the beginning of the month. And then yesterday, coming back, I just got back from vacation and I'm like ready to go all in. Yesterday I spent all day in my office. I have like 15 host posts up, dud, all of them suck. And I'm just like, this is freaking exhausting and annoying and I hate my life. It's okay. And then today but throughout that, I'm expanding my network. And then today, I throw up our giveaway post. I've been waiting to put our giveaway up until I like added 250 people to my network, because giveaways work if you're doing the homework, and people aren't doing the homework. And that's why when you post the giveaway, you're like, well, why did I get 3 likes? And right. So I told myself that's what's going to happen. I've been inching. And so I put it up. It blows up. One of the first comments is, but the last time I did it, it was all those people that always comment, and it's so annoying. This time it was one of the first couple comments was someone that I had been friends with, but our inbox was empty, no messages. So I'm like, freaking yes. I love that, because it's like, I just want new people to host post for me always. So I give her the X and it blows up. It's got like 40 comments on it, when yesterday all 15 were ugly, right? And I'm about to like switch it up. And so it's all about getting the right person, and you don't know who it's going to be, but that's why it's important to continue to message. And so her post blows up. I'm adding all these girls and she's just cutie. All of them are cute. It's not one of those that's making me wonder, like, should I really add these to my Facebook? I'm a little bit scared. And then people are like starting to sign up from it, and then people are giving me their dates. And so when someone says like Saturday or Monday, I'm like, great, I'll hold your spot. Will you just throw a post up for me in the meantime? I'll get you entered into my giveaway. So that's what was happening. And I had to stop messaging people, because that's how much it was blowing up, because it's a revolving door. When you find that one host to post and it blows up, and you have all those comments, whether they sign up or not, you can at least have all those comments post to post for you, and it keeps going and going and going. Madness. So it does work, you guys, but you have to do the homework. And I think that's the missing piece, is you're either not messaging enough people, or you're not weeding people out on your Facebook and adding new people to it. And if you're not doing that, then of course it's the same people that interact and play around all the time. I also have my friends list. I still am old school, and like I printed this off in May, my friends list on a keyboard or clipboard. And so when I'm bored and throughout the day, like if I'm watching TV or if I'm in my office and like I'm just, sometimes you go through like you're doing business things and you're like, I just don't know what to do. Like I'm just kind of bored. This is something that I do because it's a checklist. Like I'm going through each person, but this time when I printed it off, I went through every person with the determination of like, my end goal was they were either going to host a post or they were getting deleted off my Facebook because I needed to clear it up. And I was like, and I got this from Shari Rogers. Shari Rogers, dude, I think she actually just did, I don't know if it's on YouTube. I missed it because I was in Cancun, but she was talking about it and she's like, if someone's not servicing you, get them off your page. Like, don't like, why are we keeping all of these people on that don't want to do anything for us? And so her goal is to keep maxing out at 5,000 and delete an app. And so because she's doing that so frantically every day, she like posts something about like who has a couple extra hours, like a opportunity thing, and then she'll keep it up for like an hour and get like 50 comments, and then she'll delete it, and then she'll post one in 4 hours because she's always having people come in. It's just friggin' madness. But her talking about that, I'm like, why am I like keeping all these people? I'll open up like a message from someone from 2016 and I've asked them to post 4 times and they've never responded. Like I'm taking them off my friends list because it's opening the door for more people. So that's what I do for host to post, and it does still work, I swear, guys. When you have that one win like I had today, I was like, thank you, because it's been like 4 days of dead host to post until that one.
I think that's great, and it's true. I just did, like, I have 50 Ray Dunn mugs, 51 now, because I got another one today. I found the red one, my ho. But I have some that I was going to sell some stuff, get rid of it, but I'm going to do a giveaway instead, and everyone wants Ray Dunn. So I've been getting people messaging me. There are people that do hosted posts for me all the time and never get anything. And finally, this one girl, the message you gave me, one at lunch, one breakfast, lunch, 30 pounds. Finally. And it's got 5 or 6 comments. And this
Which is a huge win.
Yes. And people never comment on her stuff, ever. So, and she's been hosting posts for me all year. So people are right. And Kelly said it last night, you guys, host a post is still working. But if you're asking 2 people to host a post for you, or you're putting something up at 6 a.m. for people to host a post, you've got to do it throughout the day. You've got to do different hours all the time. Nighttime, yes, is usually a booming time to do it. But what if you could do it at 8 o'clock one day and somebody actually sees that?
Yeah.
And they become a customer. I know that, oh my gosh, finally. Oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. Sorry, I have someone ready to sign up as a distributor. It only took 4 days to get back to me. 4 days! Lord Jesus. Oh, I got so excited.
You're like, okay, bye.
I gotta go. But we've got to keep doing it. We have to keep doing it. And Alexander and I were talking about this last night. People on Instagram do host a post. Host a post. And she did them so much last year. We have stopped what we did. How many of you can say that you message 25 people a day? Minimum. And that's a minimum. Yeah. Put a 1 in the comments if you do that. That's not enough, because I know my number. I know if I message 25 people, I might get two people that are interested, but maybe they won't even sign up. Maybe they will in 6 months. But I know if I message 50 plus a day, I'm going to get at least 4 potentials and maybe have 1 sign up. That's going to be my number. That's why I know that I complete my steps to success a minimum of twice a month. I know that I still do that even in a slump. Even through the last 4 months, I've maybe not completed my steps once in the last 4 months. What does, and answer this in the comments, you guys, what does signing DTs do? 1 DT and 2 LCs, what does that get you? Just gonna wait. 1 DT and 2 LCs. Fast start bonus, that's $100. And I know all of your checks to an extent. Because I'm your upline and I know. And I know that we can all use that $100. Rachel wants that $100. I want that $100. Adam wants that $100. We got this. We got this. So, Rachel, I'm just going to send you Jesus right now. Give us a challenge.
Give you a challenge?
Give us a Mark speech.
No,
Wrap up tonight.
Don't stump me. I told you not to stump me.
But you are good at this. You are so good at this. As if we were your team and sending us off to complete the next 9 days.
Okay, I got something for you. It's from a book that I was going to surprise you with it because I was thinking about how you like it. I was going to tell you, but I'm going to Amazon Prime it to your house because it's going to rock your world. So I won't tell you the title because there's nothing worse than when you want to surprise someone and they always have the book. But this book is rocking my flippin' world, and I'm on chapter 3. And so what he said was, I shared it on my I do Diamond Leadership Zooms on Monday just to hype us up for the rest of the week. Okay, so what he said was, I'm so bad at reiterating it. His ex was like, you're really bad at retelling the story. Okay, what he said was, what if, just talking about self-discipline, right? I'm really bad at disciplining myself. And then you think that you have it all good when you're home. No, it's even worse. So he was saying, what if you have to be, it was like preparation with prayer. But he said, what if God has already answered your prayer for your next promotion, but it hasn't been manifested yet because you haven't done the disciplinary things you need to do on your side to be prepared for that promotion. And I'm thinking about this and I'm like, holy crap. Like, God wanted me to be an ambassador long before March, but was I doing those things? No, like he can't bless you with anything that you're not physically ready for. And I just loved that he said that. What if God has already answered that prayer for that next promotion that you want, but he's done his end? Are you holding up your end? Because if you're not fulfilling your purpose or in doing the responsibilities that it takes at that promotion or that rank or that income that we need, we all have that income where we're like, that's what's going to pay that bill or that's what's going to get me to the next level. If you're not fulfilling the tasks that are at that and the responsibilities and the disciplinary actions, then you can't fulfill the purpose or the prayer that he's already potentially answered for you. And so I love that. And this book is so freaking good. I've taken little nuggets, but there's more to this business than what you're doing. And it's, again, been 5 years, you guys, and I just had this flip of a switch when my check got so low this month. And it's like, that's the beautiful thing. And why I'll never leave is because whenever you fully make your mind up that the crap is freaking disgusting and over, and you're like just tired of what you feel right now, you truly can flip it around in a second. And it's like, I would always say that is like, you can always turn it around until I hit the valley and I crawled out of it. And I'm like, wait, there is the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's all up to us. So if you guys are on this Zoom and you're like, dang, life is really freaking hard right now, and I don't want it to be this way anymore. It doesn't have to be a slow season. It doesn't have to feel like December right now. And that's just kind of what we talked about and why we just decided we didn't want to. So some of you guys might be starting over. Some of you guys might not have a team. I don't know. I've seen it all. But it doesn't matter where you're at or who you have working with you, because you are enough. You are. And there is a plan. But you, again, like Amanda said, it's the mindset, and it can make or break you. And so I just think with that quote of just knowing that God just wants so much more for me and he will answer my prayers, but I have to make sure I'm doing my part. That makes me want to wake up a little earlier and step it the freak up, because he wants the glory. He wants to answer everything, but it's just so sad how many of us are not getting there because of us, but yet we put the blame on other people. So that's just all I have for you. You need to send me your address because this book is really, really good. I haven't shared it with anyone yet because I'm wanting to surprise so many people with it. But thank you guys for having me on. I really hope that you've grasped something from this. And I feel like there has to be at least one person on here that was struggling. And I swear there's nothing different between me being an ambassador rank and you being a whatever level you are. I promise we all feel the same freaking things. It's just at different times. And I really, really downplayed how messed up I was at the beginning of this month just because it's a Zoom and I'm not trying to really talk crap, but I flipped it around and you really can too. I swear.
This is so good. This is so good. And I want to leave you guys with this. I'm going to take it off of just this view. All of you are here for a reason on this Zoom tonight. Everyone who's going to watch it, you're going to watch it for a reason. I woke up at 5:30 this morning because, my dog licked my face and she needed to pee. But I did set my alarm for 6 o'clock, okay? Because what did Kelly tell us last night? The same exact thing that Rachel told us. I wanted to get up early. because I'm ready to make a change for my business. And you have to make a change for your business. So before I even got out of bed, instead of doing the Facebook or doing Instagram, I opened my Bible app. And I'm not going to cry because I got a spray tan. Every time I'm going to spray tan.
Don't mess up the spray tan.
No, that would be awful. But it's the Message version of Ephesians 4. And I like this translation because it said, while I'm locked up here in prison, and I'm just thinking it's my mind. My mind is my prison so many times. I want you to get out there and walk. Better yet, run on the road God called you to travel. I don't want any of you sitting around on your hands. I don't want anyone strolling off down some path that goes nowhere. And mark that you do this with humility and discipline. I'm not gonna cry. Not in fits and starts and stops, but steadily pouring yourself out for each other in acts of love. Alert at noticing differences and quick at mending fences. You were all called to travel on the same road and in the same direction, so stay together, both outwardly and inwardly. And I know that he was talking about traveling the road towards believing in the Lord and towards doing the right things. But I also think that we can apply this to our business.
Yeah.
Because so many times I think leaders get so exhausted because we feel like we're doing it ourselves. We're supposed to do it as a body. There's a reason it says one team, one freaking mission. I think that should be added, insert freaking. Because we are so much stronger together. Remember I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, we brought in 25,000 in volume in 26 days in February. We got to come together. We have to do the things that we were doing. We got lazy and we got complacent because we got successful.
Yeah.
God removes the success when we're not doing the things that we need to do for him, for ourselves, but mainly for each other, because we're all one. When one crumbles, everything else can crumble too. So I want to challenge us to come together for your teams, for our team, if you're part of my team. We're called to travel this same road. There's a reason that we all joined. Some of us are going to continue, but I'm running. I'm getting up early. I'm ready to do the thing. And I know others are too. So Rachel, thank you so much for this, for taking time. Y'all, she's an Ambassador Diamond. She's going to Costa Rica, baby. Are you so excited?
Yeah, I kind of forgot for a second until you said that. I was like, wait, what, me?
I'm so excited for you. But thank you for doing this for us. Thank you for being a sweet friend. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.